Good evening, everyone. This is Ragini and welcoming you to your favorite show, Darbar. Season 2, and we are really excited about it. And we want you to know more about the personalities around us. And I know that you really love this show and you have blessed us so many times. Thank you for that. Tonight, we are privileged and honored to have Arindam Sil, the Bengali director, with us. We are really happy to have him with us because his work and his passion and his dedication, everything comes together. And tonight we will know more about him and his work. Namaskar and namaste and welcome to Sadarbar.
Thank you. It's a privilege to be here.
Thank you so much. How are you, Dada?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm always good.
I know you are. Look
How
at
are
the
you?
smile on your face. I am excited to meet you. That's the first thing I can
Such an
say.
honor.
Absolutely. And my viewers are really lovely, They really love
I guess so.
whoever I am bringing in. And that is why this season 2 is happening. And I'm glad that you are there. Being a Bong, well, I'm super duper excited to talk to somebody who I have seen acting growing up, really, and it is giving me the goosebumps right now. And well, I just want to tell you guys that he's an actor. He's a fantastic director who has so many movies, super hit going on right now. But his journey is quite amazing, because he studied and he wanted, or his family wanted him to become somebody else, not an actor. And then he chose this path and shifted from there. So, how that happened?
I feel that it's been an early start in my life where I learned that you have to follow your heart.
Okay.
It's very important that you have confidence and you get to learn that you need to follow your heart uh, to go somewhere, to reach somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if it happens that you realize that late in your life, it really becomes late. Perhaps I realized it early, so I wanted to become an academician, and then I understood that no, actually, I want to become an actor, and that is where uh, I I enjoy being an actor, and that's how I started. I gave up everything, and I started off, despite a corporate career. I followed the career of an actor, and then as an executive producer, line producer, and finally a director. So I've always followed my heart and have given my 100% for everything that I wanted to do in life. And I suppose that's led me and taken me here where I am.
Well, I just want to ask you this question. I know it's funny though for you guys, but in our culture and custom, we really want our son or our daughter to become a doctor or an engineer or somebody really big, but not anybody near acting or singing or any profession like that when he started. So, how was that challenge with your family and yourself?
See, times have changed right now. As for my daughter, when she wanted to become a graphic designer, I said, just follow your heart, go and do whatever you want to do in life. And she is by now one of the most sought after graphic designers in the country, and she's done it because I felt that she has that potential and she'll be able to do good. But during our times, the options were very less, very limited, and every family insisted that you should become a doctor or an engineer or a or jada se jada an IAS. Okay, and that's all. It ended and started and ended there. Uh, Even my family wanted me to become a chartered accountant, which I didn't want, and so whatever. So ultimately, I had done my MBA, and I didn't pursue my PhD to become an actor. I come from a very traditional family, and yes, uh, it really it really has been a bit of a struggle to kind of convince uh, your people, your family, that this can also be a profession. But times have changed, as I said. It's not that now. And that is the reason why I have a team of people who are working with me and who've come from different paths of life, but who are pursuing their career as an assistant director or a supervisor or an executive producer.
Right.
And they're all coming from well to do families, well educated families, and they're starting their life pretty young to what they want to do. This wasn't the scenario earlier.
So, how many actor and actresses you meet every day? Because I do believe that there is a big line since he is a very successful director. So, how many people are there that I mean who are really following you just to get a little hold on to you that Dada, please do something.
Let me put this the other way around, that yes, of course, every second person comes to you with a request to say that give me a chance. But do they actually prepare themselves to, you know, where they want to be? See, which I always keep telling people that when you are acting, when you are performing, the biggest challenge is your audience is not going to judge you as this is your first performance or your 50th performance.
Right.
They are
Right.
going to judge you as an actor, as a performer. So you have to prove it from day one. Are you prepared enough to do that? There are people who wants to become actors in cinema who wouldn't have heard the name of Satyajit Ray films, who wouldn't be able to tell you that, who wouldn't have heard the name of a Scorsese or an Inaritu,
Are you
and
serious?
that's very sad. So there are people. I genuinely believe that for every profession there has to be a certain kind of training, a certain kind of education, a certain kind of grooming up, and acting is not different from that. And not just acting, this whole business of cinema is not different from that. You have to learn yourself, you have to educate yourself to become an actor or a director or a cinematographer or an editor or anything for that matter.
Dada, I mean, I really want to know about something that you choose your stories and you choose your background music and you have worked with so many people till now. So for the background music, right, how you guys do it? Because the movie is not done yet, right? So you guys prepare the background music ahead or after the shoot?
No. Um, After the screenplay is done, after the story is set, we- I would rather discuss it with my music director, who's my childhood friend, Pandit Bikram Ghosh, who's worked. We've collaborated together in each and every work, cinema of mine. He's a wonderful human being and an incredible talented person. I always have felt that the music of Bikram is ahead of his times. So we decide on certain things and we take it up from there.
That's
And then after the first cut, we would sit together. And but there, there are times when, depending on our initial discussion, I would shoot portions in the film
okay.
that would be specially kept for musical treatment. So even if I might have dialogues written, I would I would delete the dialogues. I would cut the dialogues away and say, okay, we'll treat it differently, and I'm sure Bikram is going to use musically treat this out here. So that's the kind of understanding that grows. Say, for example, I see a good film and we see it together, or we see it and we discuss that. So, like after watching Gravity, I remember calling up Bikram and saying that there's this incredible music and background score I would say, background score to this whole film that has lifted the film up. So we discussed about the background score of Gravity, and we adapted something into Shobor. And you know the music of
Yes.
Shobor. Uh,
Totally different.
yes,
Totally different.
it kind of was a raving issue about the background score of Shobor, and I think Bikram got quite a few awards for that. So another thing is, in Indian language cinema, a lot of songs are used. Even in the kind of cinema that we do, we sometimes use songs. Yes, we do. But I am in for music or song that would, help the cinema, that would further lift the cinema.
Yeah. I mean,
And that's very
mostly for
important,
the justifying
which would actually, kind of complement
each other.
each other. My song should not be bigger than my cinema. That's what I'm trying to say. So, I have seen music directors doing what I call carpeted music. You know what is carpeted music? That's a term which I use. Carpeted music is, for any scene, uh, you just pack it up with music and steam it up. And you steam it up just to just just to make sure that that the scene holds. Why? A scene should hold by virtue of uh, the scene itself, by virtue of the sequence, by virtue of the acting, by virtue of the dialogues, by virtue of the story that is saying, and not by virtue of the music. So that's what I want to say when I say that things must complement each other. Every department of cinema has to complement each other. My cinematography cannot be bigger than my cinema. You see what's so great about 1917 is that there has been some incredible cinematography. It is after that you are being told, people are trying to find out where are the cuts in the film. But actually, when you are seeing the film, when you are seeing a Birdman, you are actually watching seamless cinema.
Yeah.
When you are watching 1917, it is like one after the other, one after the other, that seamlessness of cinema. For that, these people might have slogged like hell. Of course, they had. They have rehearsed for 4 months on the location. They have cut trenches which is kilometers long, and they have rehearsed with the camera. But when you are watching the film, this is not bigger than the cinema itself. That's what I want to say. Even when you're watching Birdman, your mind forgets that the camera goes through the window on the first floor, enters from the street to the window to the first floor, then goes down the corridor, then has a top shot of the theater, and then it goes down and goes to that stage, and then it goes to the the seamlessness. Where is the cut? The normal mind is not analyzing the cinematography.
Right.
So the cinematography is as assisting and complementing the story which the cinema wants to say. Similarly, music also has to be the same thing. That's why John Williams is John Williams.
True, absolutely, Dada. But here, I mean, here we go. He has a great quality in himself. That is that he finds people who are not known enough, and he really fits them in his thinking and the story style, whatever he is directing. And so many actors we have found through that. Dada, why don't you talk about it a little and let our viewers know?
I select my characters uh, from what I have in mind about my basic, you know, image that I grow about my about my character. And from that, I try and match which artist would go. And even if it is that artist is a newcomer, I would rather go for that. Because if one is an actor, a newcomer or a regular actor, whatever it may be, a good actor will always perform. You have to guide, that's all.
How you decide that this is the person who will be great with this character?
I suppose it's my sixth.
How?
I suppose it's my sixth sense.
I
But
I
yeah,
mean
I
really.
always kind of yes. I actually don't have much of workshops
Uh-huh.
with my actors. I select them while chatting with them across the table, and
Okay.
that's how I select my actors. So when I'm telling you a story, uh, when I'm reading out, when I'm giving a narration, I keep on looking into your eyes and I try and find out how you are identifying as the character I want you to be. And I can see that in your eyes. And that is how I select my actors.
My goodness, that is incredible.
No, it's not incredible. It's
I mean,
just that
well, how
it's
you
it's
get to
it's
see that
it's just
spark
about your understanding of human nature and human
and the
beings,
character?
and that's very important. That's what I am paid for. My business has taught me that if you're a director, then you have to understand life and have to understand human beings, because you're talking about life and you're talking about human beings. You're talking about relationship,
Yeah.
so you don't have any right to become a director if you don't understand them.
There we go. New actors, new mind, whoever wants to come and whoever is really willing to get a chance. I do believe that Dada can really guide you better. Arindam, please let them know that what they really need to do, because a lot of things are happening here and there, and people, as you said earlier, that we need to be prepared, but a lot of time they're not prepared at all, and they think that it's a very easy thing to do.
No, no, no. I definitely acting is one of the most toughest profession to pursue. You know,
How
as
many?
it is not just acting,
Yeah.
cinema by itself, and as I keep telling people
Mm-hmm.
that a profession like a doctor, an engineer, a scientist, an astronaut. Still has certain percentage of success rate, but the cinema, being part of cinema, to become a director or an actor or a cinematographer or an editor, success rate is less than 1%. It's at minus rate. So that doesn't mean that I'm trying to discourage, but what I'm trying to say is you better know your job well when you come here. You better prepare yourself when you come here. You want to become an actor, so ensure that you've watched 1000 films before becoming an actor. That's very important. Make sure that you watch at least one cinema an evening, because that is your profession, that you have to do. And please watch meaningful cinema. So if you have to you have to know the history of cinema. You have to understand and watch, even however much you don't understand, you must watch Godard to Fellini to Antonioni, and till a Wong Kar-wai or a Ninaritu or a Majid Majidi or a Zafar Panahi or a Scorsese. And it's so very important that you have to understand that what people all across the world have been thinking. And similarly, you have to watch a Mrinal Sen or a Satyajit Ray or a Ritik Ghatak too, as much as you would watch an Anubhav Sinha or a Zoya Akhtar. It's so very important that to understand what people all across the world are thinking when they're talking about cinema. And that is the best way to prepare yourself.
When you started until now, what are or were the challenges in, in this movie film?
Challenges in every part of life. Uh, and cinema is no less. When I'm shooting a scene, all of a sudden the light may not be right, the actor might have a problem, the requisition might not have arrived. So there are challenges which are thrown up at every moment, and for you. It is important to solve that challenge, to solve that problem, and go ahead as soon as possible. And so you have to be a problem solver when you're doing a film. That's utmost important.
Your your favorite moment that you would love to share with my viewers.
My most favorite moment is always when I'm with my daughter, and there
Oh,
can be there can be nothing bigger than that. And from the time she started holding on to my little finger and started walking down the street till the time what she is today, I feel extremely proud, and she has given me moments in my life which has filled up my world, and that's so very important. And I can do my cinema peacefully because I have a wonderful daughter and a wife.
hmm, and also the graphic artist with you. Listen, that is more like a cherry on top. I mean, when you really work with your own people and they know your emotions, I mean, how they can march with it. I do believe that the work is, I mean, work will be really great.
Uh, whether it's your family, whether it's your colleagues, whether it's your actors, whether it's your team members, you must have a kind of wavelength to share with
Right.
each other, a kind of trust and respect for each other. Without that, cinema can't be made. However much cinema is a director's medium, I still always very genuinely feel that cinema happens in totality. And that can only happen well, all departments are in sync. It's like an orchestra. So I can be the conductor, but every instrument has to play the right tune to create the music, to create the cinema that we all want.
Your favorite hobbies?
Reading books, definitely. Watching films, uh, going around places, and in Bengali we say adda. That's just sit down, relax with friends, and chat.
With this note, we have to finish tonight's beautiful episode of Star Darbar. Thank you so much, Arindam, for
Thank you
being
so
here
much.
with us. And my viewers will be back again next week, same time, same day. Don't miss the next episode of Star Darbar with your favorite artist, and of course with me, Ragini. See you then.